Alright, so can anybody guess what trade I'm in? Those two should give you a good idea. HVAC. Hand trucks. Everybody knows what those are for. Brazing. Checking freon levels or refrigerant. Shop vac. Pretty nifty. Made by Milwaukee. I like how it looks like a toolbox, but it's actually a shop vac with a HEPA filter. My bad. Little power button there. You can run it out the side and have it. Yeah, there it is. Run it out the side and carry it by the handle and, do your suction, empty a drain pan or what have you. And put that to the side. Alright. Let's get this out of the way. Level. Leveling units or pads or, anything that needs leveling. Alright. And then here is the bag I take up with me. It's got a duck knife, sheetrock saw, turning tongs, some nut drivers, just a little bit longer than my regular screwdriver in case I need it, PVC cutters, scraper, y'all know what they are. Basically, anything I need to do duct work or little stuff like that. Cutting the ductwork liner or the duct liner. Snips, crimpers, Panduit gun down there. Let's see, that's about it. Got some mastic tape, some scrim tape, insulation tape, whatever you want to call it. A bunch of different names out there. I'm not super technical with that. Tape measure, duh. Razor knife, screwdriver. It's actually pretty cool. It's got the bit in it that can take out straighter valves. Saves a lot of time. Wire strippers, needle nose, chan locks, baby chan locks. That's what I'm missing. Well, that sucks. Anyway, I'm missing a big pair of chan locks. They're gone. Anyway, moving on. Get another one. New meter. About 180 bucks. Nice. Does microfarads and everything. There's extra shoebies in there. Extra battery. Cuts sheet metal. Attaches it to my drill. There's some pipe wrenches down there. Wire nuts and other little electrical things. Hammer. There's a bending bar for sheet metal. A little 1-inch and a 3/8 inch. Got some bits back there in a case. My drill, of course. Gotta have a good working drill. And yeah, I like Milwaukee. I have a lot of Milwaukee and I have a lot of DeWalt. Started out with DeWalt, so until they die, I don't see a reason in buying another set. But when I do buy another set, I will go with Milwaukee. I've used both and I'm happy with, Milwaukee for the most part. It's like anything else, they got good stuff, they got bad stuff. Anyway, moving on. And here's just extra sheet metal tools. Hammer, staple gun, some more booties in case I forget, or tear up the ones I currently have. Some extra electrical tape. Just, pry bars, bead square, big set of Andy snips, extra set of reds. There's some extra greens and a set of yellows in there as well. with one hand. Anyway, so then I had this cool thing off of Amazon, which is pretty nifty. Since I don't have the Milwaukee clear cases, this is not as useful. So, you know, pretty cool. Carries a bunch of wire nuts, sheet metal screws, PVC fittings, couplings, you name it. But yeah, it's a little empty. I need to restock it now. The only bad side is with this is, you know, you're gonna run out of the stuff after an install or two, or a job or two, so you gotta restock it. But pretty cool little thing, if I say so myself. Gotta have safety. This lights up in the dark, you know, for those times, you know, you cut yourself underneath the house. You know. Anyway, moving on. A little miniature shovel, in case you have to dig up underneath the ductwork to have clearance. Everything has to be by code. And you don't want it sitting on the ground, you know, just rotting and stuff, collecting water and whatnot. This little ladder here extends out to 21 foot, or it can be an A-frame ladder or extension ladder. Great for steps, like if you got a return box, you know, that's in the ceiling and it's right above the steps, you know, it's a good place to put them, but horrible when you want to change a filter or, you know, put them in. So that's one of the main reasons for that. Also running line set height and, you know, flue pipe when you got to get on the roof. Just good to have a nice ladder, and I figured, you know, if I'm going to spend over $100 on one ladder and it be a 6 foot, or, you know, over $100 for a 21 foot extension ladder, why not get it all in one ladder, you know, and you just turn this and extend it. Works great. I love it. So next I'm going to go into the boxes, but I'm going to pause real quick. Alright, so this is what I call my pump down stack, which is 3 of these boxes. We're going to start at the top. I have a manometer, you know, the hoses that go along with it, an inspection mirror, hoses, extra hoses. This hose is great for when you pull a vacuum. You know, instead of using one of these smaller ones, this pulls a vacuum much quicker. And if you have a 4-port set of gauges, I recommend it. Keep some extra Romexes in there. Here's all the stuff I would need to back the system down. You know, my little service wrench, jam box, tubing cutter, an extra set for when I use my torches there. I can do that. Throw it back in there instead of leaving it on there and it getting lost. Also, underneath there, I keep some of the TXV fittings, you know, in case I need one. There's a little water 1/2 inch in case someone breaks a water line underneath the house. It does happen. I've seen it happen. There's also a straighter valve remover in here, and a couple of little extra shutoffs in case I need them. Oh, that's not one of them. That's one of the shutoffs. There is a core removing tool in there. There it is, down there at the bottom. But yeah, moving on. Romexes, wire nuts, extra piston if I need it. Mostly just for the little white ring there that gets lost sometimes. This usually run my thermostat wire through it. Run my thermostat wire nuts if I need them. I usually use the blue ones, but it's good to have those backups. And we come over here and not too much in this one. Just some extras, glove and some brass fittings in case we lose them, or some, this is an old swedger, sandpaper, straighter valves, new sills for my hoses, so I don't replace the whole hose. I can replace the sill as long as the hose is in good shape. Usually the sill on the inside go bad, and when they do, I replace them and use these as backups and replace the old ones. So I never really have to replace hoses unless I have a blowout. Zip ties for line set and make it look pretty. Clear drain lines if I need to. More zip ties. Leak freeze little tips or whatnot. Alright. So that's the top box. There's also a Captain Hook brazing adapter. Really, I like it, but I'm not a fan, to be honest. This is for if I have to knock out some block or put a hole in so I can run some wire. Keep an extra battery, and then I keep a battery in it. I have the drill bits for it, an extra disconnect box, and you've got to fill those cracks where the hose comes through. Don't want to create a draft. Anchor kit. I use the tie down there. I'll wrap it around the unit, and I'll use it as leverage to pull the unit up onto my hand trucks and steady the unit as I pull it by myself instead of having to wait for somebody on the units that are bigger than me. Got my testos. I only use those for pump downs and maybe pressure testing. These are for vacuum and charging the system and stuff. That way I don't cross-contaminate my new system with the old R22. These only have 410A run through them. So, pretty big on that as well. Got a scale in here, fan puller, Widowmaker down there. This is a socket set. Underneath the socket set is an extra drop cord in case I don't have a way to use the Widowmaker. I can run a drop cord for my vacuum pump if I need to. I also keep a little tent for the outside in case I'm working in the rain or what have you. That way I don't get sopping wet. So that's the pump down box. I'm going to go ahead and pause it again, and we'll go through my power tool box. Alrighty. Alright, so this is my power tool box stack. So what I have in here is mainly like step up bits, little finishing nails for my nail gun, step up bit in there as well, level, drill set, extra bits and whatnot. Trying to do stuff one-handed is not fun. Okay. So staples and whatnot for insulation. Got some little sets, extras. Saws and anything to cut with basically is going in there. Then we have this one. Gotta keep AAA batteries for your headlamp. Then I have screws and some more anchor kits. These are great for anchoring the thermostat to the wall. That way they don't ever pull it off and you get a call because you said you didn't do it good enough. Alright. Then we have my battery box. And there's also more down here. Got some lights in there. Gotta keep batteries. They tend to run out pretty quick when you do what I do. You just use the tools so much that, you know, you don't want to be sitting on the job waiting on a battery to charge, you know, especially during the heat or even the cold, really. Anyway, yes, I do have some Ryobi. You know, if it works, it works. You know, no, I don't really use certain tools enough to have the high dollar tool, you know. Got this for duct cleanings and other little things. Good to know what's inside something if you need to, a drain or whatever. Need to get into a hole and know what's back there. It's a pretty good little tool to have. So there's that. This thing has came in handy so many times. I love it. It's a multi-tool or an oscillating tool for those of you that are super technical and gonna pitch a fit. Skill saw, regular drill down there. Not like my impact, but it can fit those bigger step-up bits and all that stuff. Got a little miter saw. Not really. Oh, jigsaw. My bad. Nail gun. I'll actually say that I'm not a fan of Ryobi for the most part. It's not the tool that I would like just be like, oh yeah, I gotta have that tool. But this thing is spot on. I mean, if you got trim work in your house, you know, this is more than enough to do it. And it's user friendly. And I will say that Ryobi's not a bad tool, you know, for a homeowner. If you're going to use it every day, you know, for the most part, which I don't really use this every day, or that, you know, it's great to have, you know. I have a grinder, sawzall, tubing cutter down there. It's great for hard pipe, but if you have soft pipe, like line set, that's flexible, that comes on a roll, it's not so great for that. It, you know, I found that out the hard way. It's good for hard pipe, like if you're a plumber. Just straight pipe. And then there's an extra impact, just in case something happens to my impact or my helper doesn't have an impact, which does happen, you know, or that guy who's always forgetting his tools, either on the job or at home. So it's good to have those extra backups. And I think maybe this Christmas, you know, if my finances are in order, I'm going to get the Milwaukee toolkit, and when these run out and break or whatnot, I'll just go to Milwaukee. But so far, you know, my Hvacs and my few Milwaukees have done me pretty fairly, and why switch up just yet? I don't want to go crazy on tools this year like I did last year in 2019. It's definitely good to have them. They made me money, so I'm happy, but now it's time to reap the reward for them and take a break from buying so many. I say that now, but watch.